So cropping and resizing images is useful, and it's more useful if we have access to the original size of the image, because that allows me to do some useful things. Let's play around with cropping and resizing, okay? So cropped images are when we take a subsection of an image. If the black square is the original image, the orange square is the cropped piece, the piece that I want to keep. And in order to crop an image using Pillow, I have to define the top left corner and the bottom right corner of that rectangle, because those are what allow me to define that rectangle that I want to crop. So that's what these numbers do. And this is another tuple. That's why there are two parentheses, in case you were wondering. The reason is crop takes one argument, but the argument that it takes has to be a tuple with 4 numbers in it. So that's why, because the outermost parentheses are for the function, the innermost are for the definition of the tuple. So image.crop takes the original image, grabs a subsection of it, and returns it to a new variable. It's a return something function, not a do something function. So if I take this image of my son skateboarding and I say, int width equals image skate size 0, int height equals image skate size 1. Now I have the height and width of the original image in a set of variables. So I would know that if I wanted to crop out a section of that if this corner is 0, 0, and this corner is height or width, height, I know that my numbers here all have to be within that range. So 300 over 150 down by 700 over and 1,000 down. Okay. So let's say I want to crop out the outermost 100 pixels all the way around the image. How would I do that? I would do image new. I have to assign it to a new variable. Image skate dot crop. And remember, I'm giving it a tuple, so I'm going to give it a tuple. And I'm going to go 100, 100. That starts it 100 over and 100 down. Now I have to give it the other coordinates. I'm going to go int width minus 100. That puts it 100 in from the right-hand border. And int height minus 100. Okay, so that creates a new image object that's cropped from the original. Which I can now show. And there is the cropped image. Okay, so the original I forgot what it does when I show 2. I think it just, does that. So now I can see that it did exactly what I told it to. So it took the image and came in 100 pixels in from each side. So that's crop. It takes a subset of the image based on that. That's useful for some things, not so much useful for this purpose. but maybe I want to resize the image. That's more interesting. So if I want to resize the image, I'm going to use image.resize, and I am going to use a tuple again. See, the two parentheses would indicate that I'm giving it one argument that's a tuple, and the tuple has two things in it. It has two numbers. They have to be integers, which is why we're using floor division here, because we don't want any remainders or decimals. But we're using width divided by 4 and height divided by 4 to give us an image that's 1/4 the size of the original. So if I want to, int new width equals int width, floor divided by 2, and int new height, oops, don't want that in there, int new height equals int height, floor divided by 2. And so I'm going to comment that out, and I'm going to do a new image new equals image skate dot resize, and then we're going to go int new width, int new height, and now when I run this, it'll show both images again, and there is my resized image at half the size of the original. Now, if I were to do something silly, like not make these the same aspect ratio, then I'm going to get a weirdly warped image.